Totally Flawed movie tonight, and right, I'm gonna do. I've just been watching. Right. Before I do the rating of this certain film, what I'm gonna do is do each rating in each film every time I've watched it, so that way it's fresh in my head. I'm not gonna do like watch the whole of the films and then rate the films all in one. You know, I'd be like, to me that's just way too much. I'd rather do a film that's like I did the last reviews. Right, I like to do a film fresh in my brain. I've just watched it. I mean, I've seen it before, but I like to do a fresh review of the film after I've watched it. So if that actually makes sense, so I'm going to do the review. The first review is the Terminator. The Terminator. We watched this tonight. I won't read the back because there's nothing on the back. So okay, right. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger's. Actually, the film that made him a star, and it made him a massive star. And I love this film. Great movie. Now, this is what introduces the Terminator, of course. He plays the legendary Terminator, and the Terminator's a cyborg that goes sent back from the future in the movie to kill Sarah Connor. That's I think it's a 1984 film. Yeah, it's a 1984 film, right? And I've seen it so many times, and I still love this film, and it's aged really well. I'd say it's aged pretty well because it still has a strong storyline, and some of it still looks fantastic. Especially on Blu-ray, it looks fantastic. However, the effects maybe not have aged that well. Some of them have aged pretty well. Because the film doesn't go with CGI and everything. It does practical effects and stuff, which makes the film even more fantastic. So anyway, like I said, it introduces Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator, of course, and Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor and other characters, like legendary characters, Michael Biehn and stuff like Linda Hamilton, of course. Directed by James Cameron, who I don't know, I don't like his new films. I don't know, Avatar's average, but this is fantastic. The storyline is about a Terminator that goes back from the future. It's sent back from the future to kill Sarah Connor, of course. Kyle Reese to protect Sarah Connor against the Terminator. Now, I like the part in the beginning of the film where it introduces the Terminator and Kyle Reese character by seeing the time traveling scene and stuff like that. You actually see Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator where he's all nude. Now, I've seen that really, this scene was pretty good, right? I like the part where he comes up to these punk gang, right? This punk gang, right? And one of them is played by Bill Paxton. The late great Bill Paxton, who sadly passed away 2 years ago. So it's crazy. He died so young. I think 60 is pretty young. Brilliant actor, by the way. He's been in quite a few freaking James Cameron films. When you watch True Lies and films like that. He's been in True Lies, Aliens, and The Terminator. I mean, it's such a fantastic. Oh, Titanic. Crazy, isn't it? But yeah, he's a great actor. He was. Sadly passed away now, of course. Still well missed, of course. But the scene at that part was pretty cool when it says, give me a clue. And then of course the guys make a huge freaking stupid move by trying to freaking attack him. They literally piss the Terminator off. Of course, then when you actually see the Terminator actually kills them at the beginning of the film, the first time you actually see the Terminator, you see how strong he is when he kills these guys. He throws one guy's fine. He puts his down. He throws one guy, and he kind of like punches some guy in the stomach and murders him, kills him. You see how strong he is, and then the other guy just says, here, take my clothes, and that scene was fantastic, and that scene was quite interesting because it goes to show how powerful this Terminator is. He just doesn't mess about, and it murders, and that's it, kills. Now, if you watch the later movies like Terminator 3 and stuff like that, he throws them around. That's what he does. That's the problem with those new films, is the fact that he throws them around. That's all he does. In these films, he kills. The Terminator kills. Even the second one, the Terminator kills. And these later ones, they throw people around everywhere, which kind of pisses me off. Every time I watch these films, I'm like, why is he throwing people around? Why does he kill them? I do like that scene where she's in the bar. Then you see the Terminator turn up at. I do a bit of storyline, and I'll give my rating afterwards. I like the part where they see the Terminator turn up at their apartment, right? And of course they're having sex and stuff like that. Of course she goes out to get a drink or something, and the part where it's pretty interesting is the part where you see the Terminator pop up in their bedroom, right? And the other guy's like, what the hell? And then he tries to attack the Terminator, and the Terminator just completely beats the shit out of this guy, throws him through the door, and then murders a friend. And of course, it goes. It's like I said, when I watched, that's what I love about this film. It's no over the top actions moments like compared to the later ones, and not the second one. I love the second one. Yeah, the ones after that where there's explosions and stuff like intense moments. I think the problem with those films, that's what lacks is intense moments compared to the original films, first and second one. James Cameron did a fantastic job. I've heard these films than the one that he does after the freaking Avatar films. Don't get me started about those movies. So anyway, well, the first film went out, was making a second one, but anyway, and the fact that you see a pattern, and of course these things start coming up on the news, this pattern about Sarah Connor getting killed and stuff like in the movie, and then of course then thinking starts getting a bit paranoid, and Linda Hamilton's character Sarah Connor. There was a scene in this film that really kind of like sticks in my head every time. Is the part where the Terminator gets a car right, when he gets a car right, and then there's a part where there's a little toy truck in the movie on the ground. And now this scene always stuck in my brain because I was like, remember Terminator 2 Judgment? Because you see the car, it drives over the truck, right? But remember in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, where the other Terminator, the liquid Terminator, drives a big truck like a truck. It looks similar to that one in the movie from the film. I don't know, it just seems weird. I always think they did that on purpose for the second one. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But let's go back to this film because the second one is that's another story. Anyway, that's another movie I'm going to review after. So not today, not tonight. Well, yeah. I'll collect it all together so it makes sense. Anyway, that scene was cool. And when he goes into that freaking gun store and he gets a lot of weapons and stuff like that, and he starts to freaking load up on weapons and stuff, and the guy's like saying, I'll just get, he says that, was it laser guns or he wants, and he says just get what you can see, and then he shoots them, and that scene was pretty cool. That guy was actually on Gremlins, even Gremlins 2. So yeah, he's been in quite a lot of Joe Dante films and stuff like that. Part in the bar, of course, that scene was fantastic. We actually hear the music. They got me turning. That scene was cool where the Terminator comes in, right? And it goes slow motion and stuff. And that scene was really cool. That scene always sticks in my head too, because it's such a really intense moment in that movie. We actually see the Terminator actually get really up and close with Sarah Connor. You actually see Carol Reese and ready to protect her, of course. Of course, she doesn't know about that. He's trying to protect her. He's just like, come with me if you want. I like the part where he says, come with me where you want to live. And it just sounds so intense, fantastic way Michael Biehn says it, because it sounds so intense. So anyway, I like the part where he's shooting a freaking Terminator and he goes flying through the glass. And that scene was fantastically done. And that's another scene that reminds me of number 2 where the Terminator grabs the other Terminator and throws him through the glass. There's like a connection between those films. There's almost similar moments in it. I don't know, I've noticed certain parts in this film that are similar to the one in the second one. Not copy, just almost like this for like not between. I don't know. It's like a comment similar moments in the first one to the second one, which I'm not complaining about because they're so well done. I don't mind if there's similar moments like, but I like the part where they escape from the Terminator. Of course, they chase after them in a police car, and I like the part where they're in the police station. The Terminator turns up at the police. Of course, she thinks she's safe, right? They're saying that she's safe in there and all that. Oh no! Of course, to find out the hard way that it's not safe for the police, even for the coppers in there. The detectives as well. And the scene where they're on the Terminator freaking goes. The scene that's probably my favourite scenes in the film is the cop scene, the police station scene where he kills all the police officers and the detectives and stuff. And that scene was so well done. I'm just like, what a great moment in Terminator. It's just a great scene. It's one of those scenes where it's just intense because you think, oh shit, how are they going to get out of this? And when they do it, and it's just a fantastic moment. It's like, wow. It's just a really well thought out scene that even I was like, what a great moment in the movie. It's still one of my favourite scenes in the Terminator movies. Well, I don't know, that one, there's other scenes too as that one, and there's parts in the second one, so there's so many great moments. But that scene definitely stands out, I think. Great scene, quite intense, and a lot of action, a lot of bullets being sprayed around the scene. So anyway, of course, when they do escape, of course, leaves none of the cops alive, of course. Actually, I don't know if there are no cops surviving in that scene. I don't think it. That's why they call him the Terminator, because he just kills everyone in the scene. So anyway, awesome scene. I like the later one where Carol Reese is explaining. Of course, he's been injured and stuff, so he starts talking about the future and stuff, and her future, and certain parts in the film, and they actually see flashback to his past where you see the Terminator infiltrating their bunker, so it's like a bunker, and then kills the people there and stuff, the dogs. That scene was cool. And then later on in the film, they go to a motel of course, and that scene was cool. I like this, that scene was good because they found a place to freaking hide from the Terminator, but not for long though. Until the Terminator goes to, I think it's Sarah Connor's mum and murders her, and it pretends to be her. Yeah, I think of course it's her mum. Goes to her house for her, and yet you don't see that scene. You just see Sarah Connor talking on the phone to someone on the phone, a mum or so, and she thinks it's her mum, so she tells where she is, which is daft. That's what's clever about the Terminator in this film, because he can just sound like anyone on the phone, which is interesting. That makes sense because when he went to her house, where she probably spoke, and he probably like recorded that in his brain, in his like memory, and then he kills her, and then he goes to the phone, and it's quite a clever film. It really is, very clever film, I'd say. The Terminator is so damn clever. It's like Jesus Christ, and that's what's great about Arnold Schwarzenegger is that he plays it so well. It's like a complete cold killer in this, and he does it really well. Even his performance is really good on this, and it works well. So anyway, like I said, it made him a massive star, really did. It's like, especially number 2, hell, that's another review for another film. Yeah. So anyway, I like the part where he tells about the motel, of course, they escape, of course, and it's like a chase in the movie, of course, you know this. On the bike, he's on the bike and they're in the car, of course. He's like, I think he's throwing bombs at him. So I know that scene was cool because none of the bombs actually hit the Terminator. They almost do. Then it kind of just explode right behind him or in front of him. And then when she crashes the Terminator into the side of the finger, the car comes out, of course, when it goes out of control, of course, and then the Terminator's like gets hit by a freaking truck, a big freaking truck. So anyway, I like this part where it kills the guy outside the truck driver. Then it gets into the truck and it says, "Get out," and his face is all like mashed up. Like you actually see the bit of that, like the freaking Terminator face outside the red eye and stuff. It's quite. I mean, that scene was quite intimidating because I like the part in the movie later. I'll just go back to the part where there's a part in the scene that I really do like. I mean, people seem to shit on the effects in this film, but I do like the scene. There's a part where it turns up at is it like a hotel? Sorry, apartment, like an hotel place. Because he's been injured. Like Terminator's been like injured, right? So you actually see his eye all freaking badly injured and stuff, or mashed, damaged. I like the part where he takes the eye out, and you actually see. I'm seeing this scene always seems to get shit on because I like this scene. I think it's really well done. You actually, okay, it's animatronics. They use it as like practical effects, but it still was quite good. I mean, okay, I suppose now they could have actually remastered that scene and then make it look better, but still, I wouldn't mind if they did that, actually remastered that scene, maybe. But yeah, that scene was always cool because I thought that was quite a nasty scene where he actually cuts his hand, like and you actually see the freaking metal underneath and stuff like that, where it moves his fingers and stuff like that. And that scene was quite good because they're doing that just to check if he's damaged stuff. This is really cool scene. I do genuinely love that scene. So anyway, that scene was great. Anyway, it's quite a nasty moment. Actually, this film was rated 18 when it was on VHS, which is odd because I don't know why it's rated 15. So I don't know, weird, because I had it on VHS and it was rated 18, not 15. So anyway, let's go back to that scene at the end where the Terminator has the truck. Of course, Sarah Connor has to run. Of course, she's quite fast. She's like running, getting chased by the truck, and she's still one step ahead of the truck. And of course, I like the part where Carol Reese throws the bomb in the back of the truck, and the thing explodes. And that scene actually caught me off guard. No, not caught me off guard. The last part actually caught me off guard when I first watched it, because when they blew the truck up, I actually thought that the Terminator was dead. I thought, oh wow, that's it. Oh cool. Until that last bit when it stands up, and I'm like, what the hell? And it just started to make sense. I thought, oh, of course, he's not actually human, is he? He's a Terminator, And the last part was quite cool, where they're getting chased by the Terminator. We actually see him in his full freaking skeleton and stuff. The skeletal coming after him and stuff. And that scene was cool. Okay, I suppose the effects have aged pretty badly on that scene, but maybe they could remaster that scene with better effects. Who knows? I mean, some people may not want that, but if they did it right, it would look quite cool. I won't mind that. And you could actually switch to the... If they did it on 4K, right, I won't mind seeing the remaster of that last part, you know, certain parts of the film remastered, better special effects and have two options where you can actually have the old effects or the new effects. That'd be pretty cool, actually. Pretty cool, I'd say. Some people might not like that, but you can have best of both worlds, like I say. So anyway, last part is quite cool where they're getting chased by the Terminator. Yeah, like I said, when I first watched, I was a bit surprised that they kill off Kyle Reese in this. I thought, huh? How the hell did he die? He jumped away from the bomb and he still kills him, which is odd. What I didn't like it, what I liked about it. What didn't I like about it? I don't know. Nothing really. I love the effects. Some of the effects, I suppose, aged badly, but apart from that, it's a damn good. I can't really think of anything I disliked about this film. It's got pace, it's got action, it's got a bit of horror in it, I suppose. It's got a bleak future for mankind, I suppose. Yeah, but I do like the scenes where you actually see the flash and where you see the past and stuff like that. And you see the. I like the scene where you see the future and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. The future scenes are really well done. So what I didn't like about it, nothing really. I loved it. And what I did like about it, fantastic action scenes, some really good effects though. Arnold Schwarzenegger is fantastic in this. All of the cast are great in this. It just works. Great action scenes, and more importantly, the music is fantastic in it. Oh my goodness me. Still very powerful music. Very powerful music. So yeah, that's what I loved about it. I couldn't think of anything negative to say about it. I love the fun bits. So yeah, I love the music. I love the freaking action scenes. It's fantastic. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is on form in this. It's awesome. It's quite intimidating too in this. I think Jesus Christ, I want to get caught by him. So that's my rating of The Terminator. Great movie. Yep, awesome. So, right, my next review is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This is the sequel to The Terminator, of course. I've been watching this time, not long finished it actually. This film has actually aged really well. In this film, hang on, let's just get comfortable. In this movie, right, there's a more advanced Terminator that actually is made of liquid, of course. And then there's Arnold Schwarzenegger returns as the Terminator. Of course, he's the hero this time. He's been programmed by John Connor in the future to protect John Connor, because now the Terminator sets its sights on John Connor, for the future resistance leader. This film was awesome. I mean, I remember this. Oh my god, this film has some of the best practical special effects I've seen in a movie. I mean, the film's aged really well. If you had some of the best movies that have aged really well, this will be up top 5. It's definitely one of my favourite ones. It's a fantastic movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger returns as the Terminator. And of course he's programmed to protect John Connor. Of course, the Skynet have sent a T-1000 to kill John Connor, and yeah, he's played by Robert Patrick, of course, who's fantastic in this. He plays it so well. The was so cold the way he plays it, but like I said, the effects of the film are fantastic, especially at the beginning of the film where you see the T-800 stamping on a skull. That scene was fantastic. You see the future at the beginning, and then it goes to present day Los Angeles. Like I said, the film's got fantastic effects. I like the part where you see Arnold Schwarzenegger turn up, and then he goes into a bar, and then he gets this guy's freaking clothes, of course, and his motorcycle. And that scene was awesome, of course. Arnold Schwarzenegger is fun. This film, I actually watched the extended version of this film. There's an extended version. This film has both versions, the theatrical version and the extended version. The extended version is a lot better, because it shows you parts you've never seen before in the movie. So yeah, it's a long film though. It's like a 2-hour, 36-hour movie. Like I watched a long. It's a great film. It's like when James Cameron was making great movies. This and Aliens and stuff like that. True Lies, love it. I wasn't keen on Avatar. I thought, it's one of those movies I watched. I thought, I don't get it. I just don't get the popularity of the film at all. But these films, I understand, because one, the storyline's good, and two, the strong female character, the female leads are so done right in this film compared to like some certain films where they have to have strong female leads. But in this, they're done right. I was like, Jesus Christ, Sarah Connor is such a great iconic character. So anyway, like I said, there's a more advanced Terminator, and this film has got some amazing action scenes. It really, part of the film I like at the beginning, well not at the beginning, it's like, it's in the mall, right? The Terminator turns up at the mall, of course. John Connor's at the mall playing a video game, and that scene was good. That scene was cool. Then when you actually see the T-1000 going one-on-one with Arnold Schwarzenegger's T-800, it's fantastic. I just love that scene where they're both having like a scuffle, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger gets thrown through the glass, exactly like from Terminator 1. And that scene was good. I like that. That scene was quite cool. And then I think it escapes on the bike, of course, gets chased by the Terminator, the liquid Terminator, of course. And that scene was fantastic. I'm just like, man, this is just fantastic. Absolutely incredible. The bike chase, he's riding the truck, of course, and Edward Furr's on a bike, you know, it's crazy. And then, of course, the Terminator 800, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, is like going after them lot to protect, goes after them to protect them on the bike. You know, and the scene is so well done where he's like driving it through and then he jumps off that thing and drops onto the ground and freaking just about, you know, almost gets squashed by the freaking truck when he's just going just around the corner. And that scene was fantastic. And then when he blows the truck up, that was fantastic. I was like, and then that's when you actually see, when you see the T-1000 come out and as a liquid, as the kind of shapeshifter, and you actually see the way it looks and come out of the fire and stuff, and that scene was fantastic. I'm thinking to myself, why are these effects better than some of the effects now? It's crazy, isn't it? You think the effects in this film are better than some of the effects now you game films. It's crazy. Certain films age really bad now. Even films like done in 2003 are aged pretty badly now. And I was watching, I think, how the hell is it even possible to make a film that looks better than some of the films that you get now, which is crazy. And this film holds up so damn well. If they did this now, people still think the effects in this film. If this film was done now, and the effects looked the way it did, everyone would be like, "Wow, these effects are fantastic!" You know, that's how crazy the effects in this film is so well done. I was just sitting there going, "Oh, okay." James Cameron is a fantastic director. I was keen on Avatar, but this I'm very keen on this film. It's a great movie. It's iconic. Terminator is an iconic character. Compared to the later ones where they just kind of screw up on the timeline and stuff. They didn't really they need to make a sequel, to be honest, after this one. You know, the film was perfect. Anyway, they have to go, of course. Then they find out later on, like, of course, he's got, like, John Connor's got foster parents, of course, they get killed. And that scene was cool in the kitchen where, and this, when I first watched this had me going a little bit, because I was sitting there going, oh, because she's like, you see the, and then the foster, you know, the dad in it, he's like saying, why is that freaking dog making that barking and stuff? And then she kind of moves on, like, you can hear something, and you think, hang on a minute. Because the thing is, John Connor says she's acting too nice, she's acting too nice, which is a bit out of character. Of course, the clever part is when I like the part where Arnold Schwarzenegger's character says, what's the dog's name? And he says, Max. The dog's name is Max. Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger goes, Wolfie, you know, or like. And the Terminator kind of says, you know, kind of like, you know, slips up, of course, but then Arnold Schwarzenegger, the T-800's like, your foster parents are dead, of course. Now it's clever the way the Terminator did that, because he outsmarted the other Terminator in that scene. So the film is so clever with the dialogue and the way the Terminator operates in this, and acts kind of like more human in it, not human-ish, not too human, but it starts to value your life a little bit more compared to the Terminator in the first one, because he just kills and that's it. And that's what I love about the first one, because it was so damn scary. But in this one, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator is more kind of like, he starts to learn from John Connor's character a little bit, like, you know, value human life and stuff. Because at the beginning of the film, he doesn't really, but he doesn't kill anyone either. Of course, Sarah Connor's character actually almost becomes the Terminator in this when he goes after Dyson in it. She goes after Dyson and she almost becomes the Terminator herself. But he has at the Cyberdyne, they do have the arm from the original Terminator and the chip, and of course later on that creates Skynet and stuff like that. That's in the Cyberdyne freaking. I was just like, what the? Why are these effects still freaking good? And I'm not joking, man. I've been watching this film, and I'm like, these effects still look incredible. And now, of course, the film's on 4K now, so I've got to get on 4K next to this film, because I know they've added a few things on there, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's face on the bike where he jumps off like so. And I can't wait. I bet it looks freaking insane on 4K because the film will look great on 4K. It really would. Some films do age really well. Star Wars has aged well, the original ones. And this has aged so damn well. I'm not joking. I was just like, how the hell? It's crazy. Crazy. James Cameron was a perfectionist on this film. He really was. Anyway, like I said, she comes like a Terminator herself, really, like, almost, until she sees what she's done. Then she realizes, oh, then she realized she was wrong. You know what she did. She always becomes that. You know, becomes the thing that she was escaping from the first film. There's a lot of great scenes in this film, building like to destroy the information and stuff, the arm and the chipper from the Terminator, and that scene was fantastic. I remember they go in there, they go in right, of course, and they start to destroy parts of the freaking, you know, information and stuff in the building. You know, like what's, you know, to destroy a trace of the thing, so Skynet can't be built. And I had the thought where he has that minigun like that, right? Oh my god, that minigun scene where he kicks the table out the window and then the police officers, and he says to the thing, and he says, trust me, and he just shoots all the vehicles, destroying them all, not hurting them all, not killing them all. And that scene was fantastic. Honestly, I mean, it must have had a right blast making that movie. It's an incredible scene, it really is, and the part where the building explodes is insane. And then the scene where the Terminator's in the freaking helicopter is a very good scene where he jumps into the helicopter. The guy jumps out because he tells him to get out. And the CGI effects are still fantastic. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I'm just shocked how good the effects in this film are. Sometimes when you watch effects now, they age badly, certain CGI effects. But this looks just as good as now than it did then. It's crazy. I can just imagine being a kid, man, watching that film going, oh my god. It's like magical effects. How the hell did they do it in those days? I like the part where the helicopter's chasing after freaking Sarah Connor and Terminator, and of course then the part where the helicopter crashes, the Terminator crashes the police van into the. Then the problem is though, right, he can get damaged more because the liquid Terminator can't get damaged. The only thing that can destroy him is heat or whatever. So, but yeah, I was just like incredible movie. And the part where they're freaking getting chased down the highway, liquid nitrogen truck, while they're in this like poxy freaking vehicle, and they got this massive truck chase. It kind of reminds me of Jewel. Remember the film called Jewel, Steven Spielberg? It does remind me of that. You've got a big truck chase after you through a film, and they end up at the freaking steel mill, and that scene was incredible where the Terminator gets frozen. So anyway, they got the steel mill, of course. The Terminator gets frozen, of course, and I love the part where Arnold Schwarzenegger's "Hasta vista, baby," and the scene that really, I'm just like, how the hell? There's a part where you see the Terminator start rising, in liquid form, and I'm just like, oh my god. And there was certain parts added into the scene, the extended parts, where you actually see his hand on the railing or something, and it has the same kind of same colour as the railing. And that scene was cool. And he does that, and it changes back to normal. So anyway, the Terminator starts going after the John Connor, and of course now they get separated from the. Of course, he tries to freaking draw the Terminator away from Sarah Connor and John Connor, and the last bit is fantastic. I mean, I want to, you know, the film really, this review ain't gonna have any spoilers. But, well, it will. It doesn't really need any. It's an old film now, but the last bit's fantastic. A great finale. I like the way. I like the battle between the Terminator T-1000 and the T-800 Terminator, the liquid Terminator and the normal Terminator. I like the fight between them two, and then of course he is completely freaking damaged. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, completely, you know, arm damaged and everything, and the T-1000 is just like looks exactly the same because he's like liquid, he can't get damaged. What's the last part is, you know, when the Terminator drops into the molten steel. I mean, that scene was fantastic. I mean, it's just a cool scene where you actually see him changing and stuff like that after, and then he just dies and that's it. There's a lot to talk about in this film, and I really love to talk about a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of things I like about this film. Great special effects, amazing action scenes, great music, I don't know, it's just an amazing movie. It really is one of the best sequels you can ever watch, ever. Awesome. And the saddest part is when the Terminator actually says, I can't self-terminate, so he asks Sarah Connor to lower him into the molten steel. And I admit, when I first watched that I felt really sad for him, because he could have lived, but it's a very effective scene, a very emotional moment for him. But I suppose he had no choice. I think maybe in the future, John Connor says that at the end, when you save him, destroy yourself. Maybe ask them to do that. I don't know. So I don't know. So yeah, what a great movie. Like I said, the extended scene does have a scene at the end where Sarah Connor is a lot older than this, and you actually see an older John Connor in there, and that scene was cool. They never showed that in the original version. I watched that version. It's a really excellent scene. Okay, so what didn't I like about it? Okay, nothing. There's nothing that I liked about the film. There's nothing that I didn't like about the film. If I can't think of anything that's really okay. Maybe it's a long film, but apart from that, that's about it. But apart from that, it's perfect. I don't care if it's long. It's fantastic. What I liked about it, okay, where could I start? The great characters like Sarah Connor, John Connor. Sarah Connor's a great, strong female character. Strong, really well built. And in the first film, she went through a lot with the original Terminator, of course. And then when she lost Carol Reese and stuff like that, and then this one, she's a lot stronger character. Really well. She's not like freaking. She's strong, but she's not like perfect. She's kind of flawed at the same time. It's how you build a character up. Films are fantastic. Arnold Schwarzenegger's fantastic in this. The practical effects are excellent in this. And the scene in the kitchen, I mean, there's like a scene where she kills the guy right and pulls that thing out his mouth, and that scene was incredible. Of course, he used practical effects on that. That's actually not CGI, which is incredible. Like I said, the practical effects of this film are so good. And the CGI effects are so very good too. The scene I do like is the scene where there's another scene in the film where they escape from the other Terminator and they go in the elevator, and then he sticks his arm right through the freaking doors, and that scene was incredible. I'm just like, that still looks great. And then when he drops down, it's incredible. There's another scene that I really do like. I just think it's such a great scene is when he goes through the bars. He goes through the bars, right, and it still looks fantastic in the hospital where Sarah Connor is, and he can't go with the gun, right. And it's such an incredible scene. I'm like, oh my god, it's an incredible scene. It really is. It still blows me away right now. I'm like, god, some of the effects those days look better than the ones now. Anyway, what I did like about it, like I said, the effects, the practical effects, the story was excellent. The runtime was just fine. It was a long film, but I think it was just fine at the same time. So it's not like I missed them. I didn't dislike the time length from it at all. And the effects, the performance are fantastic. The story is fantastic. The music is excellent. It's awesome. Everything about the film is excellent. It's an amazing movie, and of course they kind of go a slightly downhill after this film. But my next review is Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. I've been watching this tonight. I watched it earlier on. Now this film takes place, I don't know, 10 years after the Judgment Day. Of course, John Connor is played by a different actor now, not by the original actor. It's not directed by James Cameron this time. You can tell by the quality of the film. It's got comedy in it. It's got not the best storyline you've ever seen. Some of the special effects have aged bad in this film. Some of it's pretty good still, but some of it's like, oh, okay. So I was just like, wow, okay. And like I said, it's not directed by James Cameron. And also, Saga comes back as a Terminator. And Christina Loken plays the new Terminator, who's more advanced than the original one. And she can shapeshift, and she's kind of metallic underneath, though. She's like metal underneath, like the original Terminator, but she can shapeshift, and she's got like a weapon as a hand. So she doesn't really need a gun. In the film she uses the gun, and then you think, hang on a minute, she doesn't really need a gun, does she? She can shoot freaking beams at her arm. And in this film, I did enjoy the movie. I do enjoy this film. It's got an interesting storyline, a really good. It's got a suppose you call them plot holes and stuff like that, but it's got some moments you think, what were they thinking? You know, the comedy moments are ridiculous in it, and that's what kind of ruins this film. Some of it's actually quite funny, but then it's not meant to be funny. It's meant to be a science fiction action movie like the first and second one. The first one hasn't got any humour at all, and the second one has a bit of humour, not too much to distract you from the film. But this one, it's got me humour. It kind of kills off the tension a little bit, certain parts, and I don't know. It's just got some really stupid. For part where the Terminator turns up in the past, right, in the present day, right, of course, and he walks into his bar, and then freaking there's like some weird dancing going off, and the part where the guy like dancing and talks to my hand and then he grabs his hand and talks to it. It's so damn daft. The film has got some, and then when he comes out of the bar, he puts the glasses on. He's like, and it's like it's got his thing where he needs a pair of glasses in this film. It's like, oh look, I need a pair of glasses, and then later on you see John Connor, of course, and then you see certain parts like in the future, which look pretty cool actually. I mean, I think it was pretty good, some of the special effects in the film. So when you see John Connor in the future, but then the guy who's playing him, you see him as this, it looks like, it's weird. It's weird the way they've done this film. Even I'm like, huh? Why did they get the original actor from Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the guy who played the older John Connor, to be in that? All they got was the original actor and just made his hair grey and made him a little bit older. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't look right. I don't know. It's just I don't know. But apart from that, the film was enjoyable. Yeah, the part where you meet this girl called, I can't remember, Brewster, something Brewster. She's working at his pet hospital, of course. Those two are the future resistance. Actually, the future husband and wife, I suppose you can call it. So anyway, like I said, Terminator's going out trying to kill the resistance from the past. The new Terminator. Like I said, I think she's called the TX. Sorry, the TX. I'll call it TX. Played by Christina Loken. This one was the complete opposite, to a degree. It does have some amazing, cool moments in it. And then it has moments you think, what were they thinking? You know. It kind of reminds me of The Last Jedi a little bit. It's like it's got a lot of humour, kills off the tension, then it's got daft moments in it. But I still enjoyed that movie, but it's flawed. And this film has that same kind of moment. You think, hang on, what's the point of that? Why did they do that? So anyway, they meet the Terminator. Anyway, so there is part of the way the Terminator turns up and runs over, freaking the TX. You know the part where he runs over her, right? And the car goes over a finger, right? And I thought, how the hell does that? It's got some crazy moments where the car kind of hits her, then it hits another vehicle, and the vehicle explodes. And I think, how the hell did that explode? It's got moments like that, I think. And of course, there is moments, you know, there's one part in the film where she shoots the Terminator backwards and he goes flying. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on a minute, it's like, oh, okay, she's super powerful, this Terminator. But it's got some OTT moments in this film. I was just like, Jesus Christ. But it's still enjoyable. That's the thing. That's the important part. And I like the fact that this Terminator can actually control vehicles and stuff. Anything electronic and stuff, which is cool. And the part where they're getting chased by the vehicles in it. And there's one stupid part another typical stupid part in the movie is where John Connor's driving the vehicle. And next minute, all the other vehicles are hitting his vehicle. And they're going like bouncing off each other. And it's so comical the way they do it. But apart from that, the scene was pretty cool where they see the chase on the road, on the friggin' with that big vehicle that thing is driving. That scene was cool. But the scene that really bugged is like, oh the hell, okay, where the Terminator is holding on from the side on the finger, the long, what do you call it, and it kicks the ambulance over. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, they made the Terminator super strong in this, where they can kick ambulances over now. I mean, I know the Terminators are strong, but this is ridiculous. Now the scene where they end up at where Scanner is, where thing his dad is, right? And this scene, I don't know. This scene, when you see the fight between the Terminator, like I said, when they're at the thingy where her dad is, right? They end up at the place, right? When where thingy turns up, right? And they both like, you know, go at it with each other, and the scene was good. The scene looks ridiculous at the same time because she grabs him between his legs and she throws him out, and he looks down like, and I'm thinking it's kind of comical, the film. Like I said, it's got some comical moments in this film. It does make me laugh, but then I think to myself, oh boy, well, she just throws him, picks him up and does that, and I think, hang on a minute. The fight scenes don't look realistic in this film. And I'm just thinking, oh, okay. And where the other part where Arnold Schwarzenegger's thing is Terminator and just knocks it, throws it into the toilet. I'm thinking, okay. It's got some strange moments in this film. Even I'm thinking, was that even a good idea to do that in the first place? But I still enjoyed it. But it looks so stupid and hokey. But I enjoyed the film. That's the thing. I enjoyed it. It's just got moments that if they never had that in the film, and the film was like more straightforwardly serious, it would have been a better film altogether. I do like certain parts, and then certain parts I think, okay, you know, so I thought the girl that his girlfriend is the girl in that he meets, right, is his future wife, or doesn't believe him, which is interesting. Yes, but she starts to believe him after, you know. But there's another scene in the part throughout the graveyard, right, and they're in that, you know, what do you call that thing in the graveyard? They're in that where they find the casket, casket, and it has all those weapons and stuff. And she shoots a bullet in his mouth, and he catches the bullet in his mouth. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay. I mean, I don't really have a problem with that scene, but it's like Superman, you see, it's like, oh boy. No, I don't really have a problem with that scene. That was passable, that scene was. It's just scenes where you freaking, you know, certain comedy moments where he's in that freaking shop and he tells that shop, Doctor the Hand. Arnold Schwarzenegger's performance isn't the best in this either, because Terminator Judgment Day is on form in that. In that you can feel he's a Terminator. You feel he's a Terminator. In this one, it just feels as if it's like a parody of himself. That's what it feels like, a parody of certain parts. But it's always great to see him in a Terminator movie. And I do like the part where he's at the freaking graveyard shooting at the cops. I think that was so cool. And then that guy turns up from Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 turns up on this. And it's funny to see him just running off, but then you think, where the hell did he come from? It's weird. It just popped out from nowhere randomly. Okay, this part of the film that kind of looks so bad, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Well, he has like a rocket launcher, and he shoots Finger with the rocket launcher, and she goes flying into one of the graves. And it looks so bad, the effects. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, the effects look bad in this film, some of them. Like I said, I look at Judgment Day, and I think the effects in that movie are incredible. And then I watch this film, and I think, what the hell? Then it's James Cameron, of course, because his effects in his movies are incredible. I mean, Avatar was good, the effects were good in that film, forgettable, but his Terminator movies, The Abyss was a good film. Yeah, even like Titanic, I like that film. Another film, True Lies, they look freaking awesome. The last part I liked, where they end up at the facility, where you see the Terminator turn up, both Terminators trying to get through this door, right? And I like the scene, this scene looks pretty cool, so we actually see the underneath of the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, the skin, underneath the skin. I thought that was really good the way they did that, I thought it was cool. And you see them, you know, the what he actually looks like from the inside, you know, like the metal and everything, the skeleton. And I was like, wow, those effects are quite good though. And the twist at the end with the where they're in the facility, they end up in the facility, right, and they think it's like Skynet or so, whatever, and everything. And she tells them that he wants us to survive, you know, more than anything, because Judgment Day has to happen. And the last part was actually a really well done scene, I thought, where you see the the last part was awesome, like I said, where you see the rockets going up, and the music was good. I loved it. I'd say the last part was good, and the music, the Terminator music at the end was great, but this is the problem with the film, at the beginning of the film, where you actually saw no intro to the music, where it just goes, where you see the title screen, Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, with no freaking do. It's just a plain freaking, and that's what I was, when you watch that film you think, oh my god, that's bad. That scene was bad. That's another scene that really bugs me about this film, because it's so damn like bland, it's just boring. So like I said, the last part was a really well done scene. I was like, oh, what a good scene. There's moments out in the film that I like, there's a lot of parts I did not like. So, okay, so the cons and pros about this film, what I liked and what I didn't like. What I didn't like about the film was the comedy. Some of it was funny, but then some of it just went, it ruined the tension in certain parts. I won't say it ruined the tension, but I can't explain it. It just didn't. It didn't fit well in the film. It's meant to be a Terminator film. It's meant to be serious, you know. But They had a bit of comedy. It felt like a parody of certain parts in this film. A parody, literally. It felt as if let's do a bit of a parody of Terminator movies with the glasses, where he puts the glasses on and stuff like that. But and there's some of the effects haven't aged well in this film. I'm literally going, wow, some of the effects look bad in this film. So certain parts, not everything. Certain parts looks fine, you know. I was like, wow, cool scene. So yeah, special effects and the, you know, comedy was ridiculous. What I liked about another thing I didn't like. Some of the acting wasn't the best, but from all sorts of things, not the strongest performance I've ever seen of him. But you know, what I liked about it, good action scenes. Some of the comedy was actually quite funny. Some of it, certain parts did make me laugh. So I won't say that's a good thing, but you know, I'll give it some credit. It did make me laugh in certain parts. That's good. It was so stupid. Action scenes, we've got some certain strong performance in the movie, and it's nice to see Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator film. And it has some really genuinely good moments in this film. For instance, the last part of the film, genuinely good scene in the movie right at the end. The scene in the film is another scene what I liked, where he says that you die in the future, and he says, how did you die? You get killed, and of course it turns out to be the Terminator himself actually killed him, which was interesting. I like that. I thought that was a good piece of storytelling there straight away. Got flawed moments in it. It's got a better sense. Got a good sense. Some of it's got a good sense of humour. It's quite light-hearted. It's not too, you know, but I don't know. It's just, you know. So yeah, it's got some good action scenes. So right, my next review is Terminator Salvation. This stars Christian Bale, Anton Yelchin, and other characters, and other actors in it and actors. And this film got terrible reviews when it came out, and it's directed by the guy who actually directed Charlie's Angels. And to be honest, it doesn't do a bad job. And the visual effects are great. And I mean, I suppose in a way, some of the effects kind of have aged badly, just like the third Terminator one. But it still looks great, you know. And the action scenes are fantastic. Of course, it's got issues like the third one, and it's got issues. But to me, it's got kind of similar issues like Last Jedi, which I enjoy. But it's kind of got those type of issues where I don't know. I'll get to that. Okay, what I mean by issues is it's got moments you think, I have no idea. Strange. It's got strange moments in this film, but it's got some cracking moments. So anyway, it's set in 2018, which was only the last year, of course. Of course, we never got invaded by Terminators or attacked by Terminators, and so it's set in 2018, and John Connor's growing up. Of course, there's a young Karen Reese in it, of course, played by the late Anton Yelchin. And the film's got like moments you think, wow, what a cracking action scene. And then it's got moments like, I don't get it. I don't what were they thinking when they did that scene. The beginning of the film is a great action scene at the beginning, where you see the resistance fighters attacking, like having like it's like a war scene with the Terminators and stuff. It's not at night time this time; it's in the day, and that scene was cool. I do like the beginning of the film where you see where it introduces like an older John Connor in it. And it's a good scene. It's a really, really good scene where he's on the helicopter and the helicopter's spinning around and stuff like that, and he gets attacked by a Terminator and stuff like that. And the Terminators look different in this. They're not like the T-800s. They're like the earlier models, and then you see the 800s later on. Because in the original Terminator movie, Karen Reese was on about the original Terminators that look like, you could tell from my way what they look like. They look more rubbery or stuff like that. And in this, you do see him in this. Until later on, we see the new type of Terminator. It's the classic. I just love the skin over skeleton kind of. The film's got some incredible action moments. It's got cracking scenes, but like I said, it's got moments. It introduces characters like Marcus, who's half Terminator, half human. I don't get that. I don't know how that works. Because it doesn't really work. It does work and it doesn't work. And what I mean by it does work, it does kind of like show that that they can infiltrate the resistance, and it's clever the way that's one reason why they created the Terminators. But the thing that doesn't work for me is the fact that there's one part in the film where he fights these criminals, like these people, this woman, right? Meets this woman, right? I'll get to that part in a bit, and they're having a fight, and then he's like, I don't know. Because later on in the film, he's like more stronger when he finds out he's a Terminator, but in this, he's like, he just fights like a normal human. This is strange. Kind of. It's just me, I don't know. But anyway, meets this woman in it who's like, you know, whatever. And this part made no sense. I mean, there's one part in the film where it's raining, man. She looks, you know, she's all wet and stuff, and she's, you know, soaked and stuff. And this part makes no sense at all, right? She just gets undressed in front of him, right? You know, everything dangling down and stuff. And then he's like, and I'm thinking to myself, hang on a minute, you've known him for 5 bloody minutes, and already you get him, and already you fancy him. It's kind of like films. It's kind of certain films that do that now. They're just kind of like they're meeting for 5 minutes and already they're in love with that person. It's crazy. And there's parts where she tries to protect him and freaking helps him, and you think, what if he's trying to infiltrate resistance? What if he's trying to, and she's like letting him do it, you know, so letting him off all the time. You know what I mean? That's how kind of daft the film is, because it does that. And you think, hang on a minute. She's helping a Terminator, right? And she could be costing their thinking. She could be costing their lives just because she's in love with the guy. It doesn't really do certain parts right. It does certain parts very right, but like I said, the action is awesome. But she's a very attractive woman. Oh my gosh, she's really attractive. Like the Resistance are going to attack Skynet and stuff like that. You do, like I say, you see some Terminators from it. You see this kind of girl who's deaf and stuff like that. And there is some certain parts when that bugs me about with the characters when they drop. There's like this Terminator attacks Marcus, right, and then you see this for the first time you actually see Kara Reese, and she drops this thing on this Terminator without actually looking. It's so... I'm just like, I don't get it. I mean, there's moments in this film that just goes zoom over my head. I mean, I'm just like, they're just making it up. I'm sure they're just making certain parts up. Like I said, the action scenes are really good, and Christian Bale's performance as John Connor is good. It's not perfect. It's not like brilliant, fantastic. It's good. It's decent. You do hear Finger's voice on a tape, Sarah Connor, which is good to hear. But yeah, it's got. There's another weird part in this movie where he's on a plane, man. One of those planes, man. He drops into the water and he ends up in a submarine. I'm thinking to myself, hang on a minute. It's a big ocean, man, and you end up in a submarine. There's like I said, there's crazy moments in the film, even others. Over my head. So yeah, I did enjoy the movie. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It's got some cracking. So certain parts does remind me of the first Terminator movie. I'll get to that part in a bit. I like the part where they end up at the base with Skynet base, whatever it's called, and then there's like, then you see that Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, because you've got like these prisoners. The Terminators are holding these prisoners like this facility, where it is, with Skynet, with skeletons, and then they have to go out and rescue. Figure has to go out and rescue Kara Reese, and then next minute, I love the part where you actually see Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator. And I think actually the effects look quite good. They don't look perfect. They look kind of like oldish now, but they look still good to see that scene. But that scene has got a hit and miss moments in it, because I don't know, some of it looks quite fake in it. I don't know. Some of it just definitely looks CGI, and I'm just like, wow. Some of the effects are aged pretty bad now compared to the first Terminator 2 film, which it still looks fantastic, by the way. That film, I'm still like shocked how good it looks. Still crazy compared to the new ones. I did enjoy it when you actually start seeing the metallic underneath the Terminator, and it's a cool scene. And then the part where they're fighting in that freaking like facility with all the other Terminators, I genuinely like that scene. That scene was cracking. It reminds me of the scene was great about that means great. That scene reminds me of the first Terminator where Kara Reese and Sarah Connor get chased by the Terminator for that, and it reminds me of that scene. It looks so that scene looks so good. I'm like, Jesus Christ, look, that scene does look good. Where you see the Terminator in its form, attacking, having a, and then the fact that I like the part where they get separated. John Connor and Marcus one, because Marcus is injured, right? I like this part where the Terminator uses its voice to freaking draw John Connor in. That scene was good. I like that when he goes around the corner, Terminator's just standing there right now. I'm like, whoa, that was a good scene. Like I said, it's got some good effects, and the Terminator effects are good. We actually see it. It looks quite. It looks quite scary. Actually, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Solid performances. Right, I'm going to cut this review short now because it's been 10 minutes now. Right, okay, what I didn't like about it. Okay, there's a lot of different things like that. I don't like the fact that it didn't have the Terminator music. It didn't have the da 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 da. It had a similar type of music at the beginning, but it did have that cool looking intro, which I liked. Compared to the third one, which had that awful intro. Jesus Christ. They couldn't spend money on that intro, the third one, couldn't they? I didn't like certain characters, and I don't know. The little girl was kind of pointless, and I just thought, I don't know. I don't know, she was just there, and I just thought, I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know, that's the one, and the love story, oh yeah, that's right. The love story. I said I was going to come to that soon. I can't remember if I mentioned that bit where he meets this girl, she gets all nude, and then he falls in love. They fall in love with each other in 5 bloody minutes. I mean, come on, who the hell comes out of that storyline? Oh, okay. Marcus meets attractive brunette, fancies her, she fancies him. It's that simplistic, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Okay, I can write that. Who the hell? I mean, I've seen quite a few of those films where they just have random love scenes with random love moments. But that scene was dumb as hell. You know, I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's got some cracking moments. I did not like the freaking hybrid Terminator though. I don't know. It didn't work for me that, but it is what it is, I suppose. So yeah. Right, my final review is Terminator 5 Genisys. Actually, it was called Genisys. I've just been watching this tonight, right? Really entertaining movie to watch. Really, really entertaining movie. Love that cover, by the way. It's awesome. Okay, let's read the back and you get the story right. New mission, new threat, and enjoy an explosive ride through time in this new chapter in the blockbuster Terminator franchise. In the war on man against machine, Sergeant Carol Reese is sent back to 1984 by Resistance leader John Connor to protect the young robot Sarah Connor. But however, this time unexpected events have altered the past and threatened the future for all mankind. Now Reese must join forces with Sarah and her guardian to save the world from stop the next evolution of Terminators. Now this film I really enjoyed this film. It has a lot of flaws in it, like the last movies that they made. It kind of does the same thing as the last films. Well, actually the third one. The film kind of like, okay, at the beginning of the film, you see the future, and of course the Resistance are having a battle with Skynet, of course, and the Terminators and everything, and of course to win. But the Skynet sends last minute attempts to freaking win the battle war, sends the Terminator, which was really cool. This film has good effects, really good effects, especially when you see the Terminator going into the machine and then getting sent back to 1984. This film is confusing sometimes. You know, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know. Why is there 2 Terminators? And it's a bit. The film does get really confusing because of the ultimate timeline. I did like the part where Kara Reese goes in time back to 1984, and I love the way they did that. They actually recreated scenes from the original one, and the scene where the Terminator first turns up in 1984, and he's all kind of like, and you see those the punk gang from the first film, but the different actors playing those roles and that. And to be honest, I don't know why they just don't use the original movie scenes, and then when Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator turns around, they blur him out. And I don't know why they just didn't do that. It would be not better, because the roles isn't quite as good. You got like another actor playing Bill Paxton's role, and it doesn't quite have the same effects. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy is, bad, because he ain't got the thing on his face either. You know, in the original film, Bill Paxton, when he plays and he's got like, it looks like time marks on his face, and this is like, it doesn't have that. I don't know why. Apart from that, the effects look really good, especially when you see Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator. It was fantastic. I mean, honestly, they look better than the effects on the Salvation one. I admit that. But then again, this is like a 2014 film, so it's like. But I enjoyed the movie. It's movies that you're either gonna hate it or enjoy it, you know. But I like that scene. I like the fact that when he turns up in 1984, right, the certain scenes exactly like the first one. But the only thing that bugs me about, it grinds my gears about the film, is the characters that play John Connor, Sarah Connor, and freaking Kara Reese. It's like, Jesus Christ. But the guy playing John Connor, Kara Reese, is like, he's got no charisma, and I'm just, Jesus Christ. And the guy kind of like, And the problem is this format, they put too much humour in it. It's like comic relief, some certain parts, and I'm thinking, what the hell's going off? Calories in the first Terminator film was like serious, tension, saying, I'm here to protect you and stuff like, it was serious. But in this one, it's like comic. It has like more comedy in it. It's weird. And I'm not saying it's as bad as freaking, The Last Jedi with its freaking humour, but it's like, Jesus Christ. It's almost too much comic relief in it. Some certain parts comedy. That was a cool cover. But anyway, so Arnold Schwarzenegger in this film, of course. He's like an older Terminator. And I like the battle between him and the younger Terminator. But it looks a bit hokey now when you watch it, you think, Jesus Christ. Because when they're fighting each other, you can tell it's all CGI in certain parts. And it bugs me, because when you watch Terminator 2 Judgment Day, it's like, it looks so damn good still. I'm like, but like I said, I still enjoy it. I'm not going to shit on it, and I'm not going to say, I'm just going to be honest about it and stuff like to a degree. And so anyway, I like the fact that they do destroy the Terminator, kind of, but they haven't fully destroyed the thinger. And then that plays in the part later on in the film when they end up in this abandoned building. I hope you like my intro, by the way. I worked on that. I thought that sounds like a good idea to have an intro like that. So anyway, the thing called Genisys, and it's it's meant to be like the Terminator or something. And they've got the storyline's so freaking complex that explain it's crazy. Sometimes I have trouble with a simple freaking movie to explain, but it's like a timeline thing with ultimate timeline and stuff like that. And like I said, the only thing that bugs me about this film is the actors that are playing the roles, and it's just not right. For instance, Sarah Connor, who's played by Emily Clark, she does a decent job, but she's, I don't know, I can't explain it. She looks nothing like freaking Sarah Connor from the original. I mean, I was thinking, what the hell's going on? And the guy who played Calories, I think, is probably the worst one, because there's no chemistry there. Okay, I remember the first Terminator, even the second Terminator film, where you see those two together, and there's chemistry there straight away. There's chemistry, and this time, there's nothing there. It's like just there, they're just there. And then you see Arnold Schwarzenegger looks older in it, of course. Okay, right, they go back to the future. Oh, Back to the Future, of course. They've got to travel through time to 2017 or so to stop bloody Genisys or something in San Francisco, of course. Now, there's a scene in this film where they're on the bus, right? Okay, I won't explain the whole story, but there's a scene on the bus where they're on the bus, they're getting chased by the other Terminators, like, on their tail, right, of course, because they've blown this place with his guns and stuff. And, no, okay, right, let's just get to the part with the John Connor part first, and let's come back to that part, because the twist was kind of crazy, because when they turn up in that, what year was it? 2017, right? John Connor, because there's one part in the film where John Connor, he gets grabbed by a Terminator when Reese goes through time, and you think, okay, that's an interesting. Wonder what's going off there. And then fast forward 2017, and it turns out he's not actually. He is John Connor. He's not. It's like a weird twist, and and in the trailer, it's like they've ruined the trailer ruined the story. But to be honest, it didn't really improve on the film. Even if they didn't say it, people would have went, "What the hell?" But I enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed it. It's not a perfect movie. It's one of those movies that you watch and you go, some people are not going to like it because even I saw the flaws in it. But I enjoyed it. I mean, the effects are awesome. When you see the Terminators, when you see the Terminators in the future, it looks fun. The effects look pretty good, actually, I'd say. The liquid metal from the liquid Terminator, which is cool. I like the fact that when he turns up in 1984, right, and there's like a liquid Terminator, and I think that's interesting. I like that. I like the fact they went back to 1984. So anyway, so it's the fact that Genisys is not really is not really him, and he's like the Terminator. It's been affected by something where they can turn humans into Terminators, which is an interesting concept. So anyway, let's go back to the scene on the bus where they're on the bus, and the bus flips over, and then they're dangling down. And this part was quite weird because I think the Terminator is super strong on this. Superman's strong. I'm just thinking, crazy. Because when the bus is dangling, the Terminator's like holding the bus with one arm. And I'm thinking, here we go again. Because, I mean, the Terminator is strong, but it wouldn't be like able to hold a bus with it, really. I don't know. I really don't know. it does suffer from moments like in the movie. I'm just like when when I'm fighting the throne, I don't know. But I did enjoy the movie. Like I said, I did enjoy it. It was a wasted opportunity because it was a good, really interesting concept. Not really well executed, but still. And to be honest, right, if they never made these films, I could live with that. But these films exist, so it's worth to watch them. So that way you can go, oh, okay. So it's kind of like another chapter in the Terminator movies. So the action scenes good, the effects are good. Some of the effects are good, very good, but some of it is just like, what the hell? Some parts don't make sense for me, and I was like, well, but it does have some really interesting moments set in when you see the future, you see the interaction between John Connor and Kara Reese, and it was really good the way they did that. And it says a certain line in the movie, like it says in the first film, in the original. However, when Michael Biehn says it says it with so much conviction, I'm just like, and hopefully, if they ever bring Michael Biehn back as a killer, that'd be pretty cool. But then they killed him off in that film. It's a shame, really, because it would have been great to see him back. They have a crazy twist where he never actually died, and he was like knocked out. That would work, Michael Biehn, whatever his name. I can't pronounce his name. It's like whatever. So anyway, it's a brilliant actor, and I just wish he was in these newer ones. So yeah, like I said, it's got some cracking action scenes, and it's got like moments you think, I don't know. There's a lot to talk about in this film. It's like let's go back to the beginning of the film where they go back, and the liquid Terminator is actually that was actually an interesting concept where the liquid Terminator. I think, hang on a minute, because in the original movie it was like a copper, and they replaced him with a liquid, and I like that idea. I thought that timeline was quite interesting where they kind of changed that. I really did enjoy that film, that first one, and I like the way they did that in this one. And definitely my favourite part of the film was definitely the 1984 scenes. They could have ignored the last three films, this one, the one before, and the one before, and they did them all again. The takes place after the second film, which I think is a good idea because this film kind of like screwed the timeline over. It's kind of screwed it over because one thing, changing the actors with different actors to play other roles that were done better before. But still, like I said, I enjoyed it either way. It doesn't matter if it's flawed. I enjoyed it, and it's like it's called Terminator Genisys and the Genisys. Right, I'm going to see what I liked about and what I didn't like about it. What I didn't like about it, the fact that they changed actors and actors with different roles, with less, I don't know, different actors and they don't have the chemistry. It lacks the chemistry. Some of the effects is not the best. Some of it's pretty decent. The actual, what else? And of course the humour. Some of the characters try to be funny in it, and it's like, it's a bit of like heart moment, I suppose, but the original movies had tension in it without too much humour, and then the humour always felt natural when it came out. It was funny, but this one was like have the Terminator smile, and Carol Reese tries to come out with one bit of humour in it too, and like I said, it's this film. Sometimes they do this in these films where there's like a bit of humour, and a bit more humour, and the character's meant to be serious in it. And that's what bugs me about this film. Remember the original movie, Kara Reese was quite serious. Linda Hamilton was serious, but she was a strong character, female character, where she played that role. And in the second Terminator film, there was a slight bit of comic relief with the Terminator and John Connor. But it wasn't that too much, because the tension was still there with the Terminator on their back. That's what worked about those movies. And the second one definitely was the best one. So what I liked about it, some of the effects were excellent. Some of the effects, like liquid effects, was cool. Solid, decent performance, I'd say. And the Terminator thinking, I don't know. I think they used certain animatronics in certain parts. I think because some of the effects were pretty good if they actually used the CGI certain parts of the Terminators. And I like the fact you see the past and the laser guns and stuff that he used to kill. Actually, there's a cool scene in this movie that I like, where the kid is down in this like. This kid is in the movie and he sees this dog behind this like these bars, right? And next week you see a Terminator talking, saying, and I thought it was pretty cool. I did like that someone drops down and John Connor drops down and starts shooting the Terminator. I did like that scene. It's pretty cool, that scene. You actually see a Terminator talking and see, going towards the kid, and you think, Jesus Christ. But the film suffers from a bit too much humour and stuff for certain parts when the characters are meant to be serious. And the guy playing John Connor, not John Connor, Kyle Reese is nowhere near as good as freaking. And he looks nothing like him. So I just think, what the hell? But he's a decent actor. He just lacks charisma and stuff compared to freaking Finger's performance, you know. So right now I'm going to give him a review of all 5 Terminator films because right now. So okay, right, Terminator 1. Love the film. Great movie. Great action scenes. Great story. Some of the effects might have aged. Some of the animatronics made up. To be honest, I don't look that bad. I mean, I'll still watch it. What a great movie. So I give that film a 4.5 out of 5. As you see, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, one of the greatest action movies ever made. Great effects, still has aged absolutely brilliant now. I mean, even the CGI freaking the CGI effects look fantastic. The liquid effects and the practical effects look fantastic still. So that film gets a great story and a great characters in it. The film gets a 5 out of 5 stars rating. High 5 for that. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. Film's got flaws. I mean, it's got humour in it. Like, that's the problem. The film suffers from humour. It's still got some really good effects in it though. Certain parts of some effects have aged badly now. Actually, I don't think they were that good at when they first came out. Actually, the effects. I was going to do some of the effects still look a bit. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird. So yeah, but apart from that, really good action films. Good action film. And I give that film a 3.5 out of 5. So yeah. Right, okay. Terminator Salvation. This film kind of got terrible reviews when it came out. But the film's got a great freaking intro to it. Not too much humour in this film, too, which is important. It's the same guy did Charlie's Angels, which is never a good thing. But he did put his heart and effort in the certain parts of the movie, ideas and stuff. The hybrid Terminator didn't really work for me, but apart from that, the film was really entertaining, cracking effects. So yeah, I did enjoy it. So I give that film a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Right, and finally, the last one, Terminator 2 Genisys. And this, like I said, this film was like good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I genuinely enjoyed it. I mean, I'm not going to shit over it and say it was a terrible film because it wasn't a terrible movie, but the film had flaws, you know. And the chemistry between Emily Clark's, it just, I don't know, it doesn't quite work for me. I don't know. Doesn't work for me. I think he's a decent actor, but first, let's have that guy playing Kyle Reese. But apart from the action scenes are good, the effects are good. The storyline's just a bit muddled on it. It's a bit confusing. Even I can't explain the storyline. I'm like, I think, hang on a minute. The timeline storyline. It's a timeline story confusement. That confusement part. But yeah. So yeah. Good action, good CGI, some certain effects, and so yeah. So the rating I'm going to give this film is a 3.5 out of 5. Good action scenes, like I said. So yeah, here's my review of all the Terminator movies. So anyway, people, if you like my intro to this video, and remember to subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back. See you later. Bye.